Welcome everybody to Panfish Nation along with Mark. I am Lyle. Mark, I'm loving life. We got some nice, cool 80-degree weather.
80, that's
amazing.
hot. 80 is hot, Lyle. 80
Not
is hot. It's 63 degrees right here right now, bud.
Well, we're at 78, so
we're coming to that Labor Day cool off, which happens up here around my neck of the woods. I mean, Labor Day comes by and boom, it drops like a rock within the next week or two afterwards. So
I'm excited to get Labor Day out of the way. My son's coming down this weekend as things goes as planned. We may try to take the boat out and fight them people, but this is the last big hoorah of the summer for people with vacations and kids, and a high percentage of sea-doos will be gone. Quite a few of the boats will be gone.
Think, you know what? Speaking of which, I think your number 4 son, Chadwick Fields, kind of got a jab at me, calling me a pleasure boarder this morning in Hog Leg Show.
Really? I didn't see that. But
I hit the leave before I could tell him to enjoy his day at work while I was out fishing.
Pleasure boater. I would have never believed it.
Before we start, I want to welcome Big Wrench Catfishing as a member. We want to make sure we welcome him in. And I want to remind everybody out there that we are going to do the giveaway today for a box of Lyle Stokes custom jigs to the members.
Oh, flies.
What?
Flies.
Flies. I'm sorry. Look at that. You get a box of them directly from Lyle from Hades, Missouri, because it's still 80 degrees out there.
It is.
But you do have to be a member, and I got all the members entered in on the green wheel. So we'll do that drawing probably towards the end of the show, right, Lyle?
That's exactly correct. And remember that you can still enter the last qualifier for the Panfish Nation tournament. We hosted on James Dockery's channel coming up.
No, it's on this channel. We're doing it on Panfish Nation.
Okay.
But
it is in September. Do you know the date?
What is it, September 9th? Let me take a look at the calendar here.
Could be.
I believe so. Saturday, September the 9th would make sense.
So, and get qualified. Only the top 2 can move along. So,
we still got to come up with a date for the championship.
Yeah. We're
going to wait too long, and I'm going to get another skunk. It's going to be like 500 to 0, and I got to listen to that for another year because pan fishing is pretty darn rough here if we're going to wait as long as I think we're going to wait.
I would say let's try to pick a day when the weather's good.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
That is the hard part.
It really is. You've been following the year. You're talking about, is the sun going to be out? Is it going to be raining? Is it going to be windy? Is it going to be cold? Is it going to be hot? You never know. So,
and we do want to work around Chad's couples tournament, which is coming up in September. There's like two weekends he's doing that, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That is correct, and I'm entered. Cindy and I are entered in that. And Chad says he would comment, but his phone being dumb and has no comment box. He sent me a picture of it. No comment box. So you got a free ride tonight.
Android powers deactivated.
September 9th, Cindy.
September 9th for the Panfish Nation pre-tour. And then if you want to, Chad, you know what? I can go and look real quick if you can keep people busy.
Well, I can't. I forgot what day it was supposed to be. And we was just talking about that Monday night, so I should have remembered, but, didn't.
We're old. We got an excuse for that. So,
really?
Yeah, I'm checking his channel. I use it to my full extent too. I don't care. Call me old all you want. All I'm going to do is use it as an excuse.
I don't mind.
Couples Showdown, September 16th and the 17th, September 23rd and the 24th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. That Washington, D.C. time over there. And we know what we think of them folks over there, Lyle. Let's not get started.
We do.
But that's what it is. Washington, D.C. time, Chad.
That's exactly right.
So I want to make sure you get on it. I'm still working on Sheila for that. To tell you the truth, I forgot to ask her. I asked her a couple months ago, and she said maybe, but I keep slipping my mind. So
I got some streamers to show everybody before we start welcoming people in chat. For those that don't know what streamers are,
I'll give you a solo layout, bud.
They're an attractor bait for fly rodding. I make some for jigs too, but these are to be used on flies.
You also use those just like you would a bumping rig for walleye in the spring, Lyle.
Exactly. Now, this one's hard to see because it's got a lot of green on it. But we had a conversation a while ago about eyes. I don't put eyes on jigs and flies and stuff. There's no need for it.
That'll catch fishermen. That's what matters.
Well, if you're selling them, it sure does. And I got this one here. It was the first one that I tried. It turned out pretty good other than the head. I don't like the head very well, but it's actually green. But I've been tying a lot of those the last few days, and they seem to be doing good. They're ribbed with silver mylar on the bottom side.
Did you say ribbed?
Ribbed? I'll show you.
Never mind. The joke went past you.
No, I didn't. I got what you said.
Oh, I apologize. Alana's in the room. We don't want to talk like that. Hold on.
She's just a nice young lady. But you can see that they are ribbed underneath their spiral wrap, basically, is the better answer.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, them ought to turn on. It'd be a great attractor, especially if you're using a 2-hook rig.
I need to get some of that the deer hair. What is it called? The
bucktail.
Bucktail in chartreuse and purple is what I'm looking for this winter.
Oh yeah, get some of that. You can also buy that, Mark, in artificial.
That works for me.
If you don't like the bucktails, I prefer the bucktails because I've used them a lot. But I've got some of the artificial stuff, and it's not bad. It's not bad. You just treat it the same way you do, and it doesn't spread out, swell out. He must have got it.
He must have got worked. He must have borrowed somebody's apple. I'm gone, but not forgotten. Never, 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 Lyle.
All right. Well, you say we welcome folks into chat. Yeah.
SK, I got questions for you tonight, so keep an eye on my chat during your live show, buddy.
I got a picture of Chad's got shrimp. I had to turn him off.
You know, we can always give him the boot too. Time him out. No, we won't do that. Try to be good. All right, let me say hello to everybody, Lyle. You all right with that? All right, 922 Crappie Barbecue in the house. What's going on? Welcome again, Big Wrench Catfishing, to the Panfish Nation membership. There's Miss Cindy Stokes, Creole Catfishing. How you doing? There's son number 4, Chad Fields over at Fields to Water. Fishing with Jeff Beal. What's going on, Jeff? How you doing? Fishing with Steve Mosley. He's going to be in the championship. What's up, Steve? Halana's Catfishing Adventures. What's up? Joe Buck is a member. Oh, look at this. Our buddy Richard. We'll get to him too. Richard over at Fishing Freedom. He's a member for 7 months. He's entered in on the drawing. Mark Barnum in the house. What's up, Mark? There's Quiet Man Curtis. His brother Eric sent me a picture of a duck that he's got in his backyard.
A what?
A white duck, like a Peking duck they got walking around their backyard. Sweet. Eric's got a thing for ducks. I don't know what that's all about.
Pull the butt feathers out of them and send them to me.
There you go. Don't tell. No, I'm not going there. Family show, Mark. Family show. Sean T Outdoors. How you doing, Sean? SK's Crappie Catching Adventures. What's up, SK? SK has been guiding like a son of a gun. He's always putting people on fish. I see them pictures all the time on Facebook. Good stuff. Made me jealous. I went out crappie fishing today. We'll talk about that for a little while. And we got Matt over at Want to Be Outdoors. And that last but not least, Uptown Chrissy Brown. What's going on, Chrissy? How you doing, dear? All right, we're back to live chat here.
All right. Dale Hayslips made it in.
What's up, Dale? D, what's going on? I tried to win D a reel the other day. I was not very lucky, so I apologize, D.
It is what it is.
Let me tell you.
Jeff said he had chickens loose in the alley. Where did they come from? Beats me. I'll take the butt feathers off of them, too.
Chad sending me live action emojis.
Really? I can't.
Yeah,
can't believe he would do that. Oh, man.
Oh, there, Creole. Creole, did I say hello? If I didn't, hello, Creole. How you doing? Saw a real pretty picture of him and his wife today. It looked really good. Hey, there's FOAs, customs, and gear. Freddie sent me, Lyle, Freddie sent me some of these hooks. Actually, this is only half of them, but look at these colored hooks. I'll be using these for channel.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know if the color makes a difference. I was always partial to red hooks because they look good in my tackle box. I don't know what else. And I have to say, I just got a text here in the corner of my eye. I can only imagine that it's Betty Jean yelling at me for not saying hello to my favorite sister. Because she disappeared from chat, probably. Hello, Betty. How you doing, dear? She's watching at home. And Brandon, too. How you doing, Brandon? And to Ike and Otis as well. I've got to say hello to Dockery and Katie, of course. They're out watching. I'd say hello to my wife, but she doesn't watch this stuff. She's upstairs watching something else. Not really big into fishing.
Emoji sent to Chad. He sent me a picture of him eating that shrimp. He just done it to piss me off.
Shrimp sounds good. I actually got some prepackaged stuff in the freezer. I could probably get some of that after this. But I'm tired, Lyle. I went fishing this morning. I was.
Let's talk about that because we'll get off on that.
I went fishing on Monday, and Monday was a battle. You know, we had that cold front move in, and I know I use that excuse a lot, but I don't know what else is up. But I found a fish. They weren't biting for anything. The only fish I could get to bite were drum on crappie jigs. I was using that, you know, I know you love live scope. I was using live scope to find them. Found the fish. They wouldn't bite for anything. They'd follow the bait about halfway up the water column. They wouldn't take. I was throwing baits of all different sizes, plastics, hand ties, some of yours, some of Kim, some of Crappie Man's plastics, some of Miss Bacon's plastics. I never tied so many different times in one day that I could remember. I came home, and you can ask Betty Jean. I talked to her on the phone. She could tell that I was kind of not happy with life that day. So I went back out today. I went to a lot of the same spots, marked a lot of brush piles, got on them. It was super windy, which kind of helped keep me on spot using not live scope, but using spot lock. And I found them in about 20 feet of water, but I got on a few. They were small, maybe 3 keepers. Got I don't know, caught about 16 crappie, caught about 12 white bass. I think I got like somewhere around 6 yellow bass and another drum.
So how many did you take home to eat?
None. I didn't feel like cleaning those 3 keeper crappies. That's the advantages of having a live well. Brandon already yelled at me for it. He says, you could make yourself a sandwich or a couple tacos with that. I know, but I got stuff to do. Maybe I'll go out. I'm going to try and go back out tomorrow. Maybe we'll even turn the GoPro on tomorrow. But I'm telling you, fish are camera shy. If I got that running, they ain't biting, or I'm losing big fish. Last week I got footage. I got about a half hour of footage of me trying to get what I believe to be 40 plus pound flathead out of a snag under a bridge. I got it all on video. And I went with this young man here who's fishes on the river every night. He was pretty upset about it too, and he agrees with me. It was a monster. It's been a rough couple of weeks here. I ain't gonna lie. There's Chris over at Hooks and Hammocks. I see
Stone Outdoor.
They're Fishing Fever. What's going on? How you doing? There's Lynn over at Catfish Fever and Outdoors. Do I use scent? Yes, I do, but I got to get some smelly jelly. SK. I'm out of that stuff. I got some brush pile stuff I was trying today.
Smelly jelly.
I
can make a comment about. I'm going to pass on that though.
Family show. Reel it in like Chad tells you.
I think that scent is more important things in pan fishing. What I fish for, especially being bluegills, they're looking for something that's leggy, buggy, whatever you want to call it. Had a discussion earlier in a chat with some guys about eyes on jigs, and I put eyes on one fly, and I won't be doing it. It's not worth the effort. Mm-hmm. There's not a bluegill on earth that's going after a fly that will stop and say, "Oh, damn, I can't eat that. It don't have no eyes."
It's blind. I don't want
Yeah,
it.
that's horse bull.
Or I feel sorry for it. I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. If it looks
catches,
buggy enough to eat,
I don't mind. I don't mind flies. Like, I mean, eyes on jigs or flies or whatever. Eric Massey, he does some real nice work, and he puts eyes on all his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it's probably to catch the fishermen. And I'll tell you one thing: when he paints them and the color schemes he uses, they catch me. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But they don't catch. I can't believe they catch any more fish. I just can't believe that they do.
But let me ask you this, do you think it pushes them away?
No.
Okay, well, there you go.
Absolutely not. Absolutely doesn't push them away, but I don't think it attracts them. They're going after something to eat. They're not going to turn it around, see if it's got an eye on it. Say, "Oh no, I can't eat that. Don't have no eye." They're just going to go ahead and take it and go. I mean, that just doesn't make common sense to me. I mean, Kentucky fish only eat things with eyes. They're highly intelligent. I find that extremely hard to believe. I mean, extremely hard. Oh, man. Oh,
wait. I'm surprised I didn't get timed out. Let's scroll back here, see what he had to say.
I'm already on the way. I haven't seen anything.
Oh, I haven't seen anything. Well, he got past us. You got lucky, Lynn.
But yeah, the amount of time it takes to put eyes on a fly, especially, and then UV resin and burn it in there with a light, it's just I probably never do another one.
Greg Burgess, welcome.
That's right.
I think I missed one.
This is the one I'm talking about. That's 100% correct.
And you know what? It used to bother me about that, but you know what? Fishing's my hobby, my passion. If it makes me happy to look at something that's close to a work of art, why not?
Yeah.
Right?
That's right. And let's face it, it does make them look prettier. And if they're prettier sitting in a window on a website, it doesn't matter where you see them at. If you're in the market for something like that, you're probably going to buy the one that attracts you. I got that. But I got plenty to build. I don't need. I build them regardless of what I sell them. I just build them for something to do. So
you mentioned that UV resin. I think that stuff's cooler than anything. That stuff's so neat. I made a couple of those waxworm jigs early spring that I caught a bunch of bluegill on, and using that UV resin to harden over that was just some cool stuff. Whether or not it helps you catch fish, I don't know, but it sure did hold together my bad tie job, that's for sure.
Well, I'll tell you about UV resin, something that a lot of people don't know is it gets so hard and stays so shiny that you can bang it on the bottom of a creek or and it just doesn't, it holds together longer. It just does. It's I use a lot of clear fingernail polish, and a lot of people do. A lot of people use Sally Hansen's. I use LA something or other. It's 98 cents a bottle. It's lacquer paint. Clear lacquer. It doesn't matter whose brand it is. It's clear lacquer paint. You can go to the automotive store and have them mix you up some clear lacquer paint and use that to be the same thing as they're putting on fingernails. It doesn't make a difference. The amount of hardness that goes in it, hardener, is what makes it last longer. So the UV resin works like that, but it's a lot harder, a lot stronger. It doesn't get tore up as bad, and it makes stuff really, really shiny.
And I could be mistaken here, but I know that a lot of the Sally nails and stuff, some powder coats will kind of dissolve if they're not finished properly when you're using it. That's kind of the thing I've run into,
Yeah,
where that's not the case with like the UV stuff. But it is an extra step if you're doing a lot of jigs or doing big batches of them. I know a lot of guys will get like a UV light and set it up in a box with like a wire rod in there to hang them off of there, and this way they just hang them in there and leave the light blare while they move on to the next one, which works.
Yeah. And there's something else about using fingernail polish. I use a lot of fingernail polish to color the jigs. Sometimes you have to put white on them first to get the color to pop out like you want it. But with fingernail polish, there is so many more colors available to you than there is with paint. Now, I guess that you could get it mixed up if you wanted to, but who wants a quart or a half gallon of paint mixed up and it'd go bad before you'd ever use it all? Where you can buy them little things of fingernail polish and paint all of you want, and then save it for the next time. So,
yeah,
like I say, you got to put something on them to protect them.
Sheila was on her way to the dollar store, and I'm like, pick me up some nail polish. She kind of gave me a really weird look. And then I explained to her what it was for, and she's like, what colors? I'm like, just get different colors. And she came back with like 10 different bottles for like a buck piece.
I have a shelf full.
Yep. I wanted to say congratulations to Ryan over at Setting Hooks and Crossing Ice. He put a 45-pound flathead in the boat, I believe, over the weekend.
Oh, man. Congratulations.
Big fish there. Congratulations, Raul, man. I saw a picture of that bad boy. He sent me a picture of that. And I think he's going to be contacting you for a sticker too, Lyle. I gave him your email address.
Absolutely. Now, is he fishing on your river over there?
I don't ask questions.
I understand.
He normally does. I don't ask him where he caught that. So
I know that is a very popular river for people.
I do know where he caught it. I do know where he caught it, but I'm not going to say. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine too. I got that. But what I'm saying is that little river, for no bigger it is, no deeper it is. It's not that it's not big; it's just not deep.
Mm-hmm.
That thing holds some great flatheads.
It used to. I don't know where they are this year. And a lot of guys
there. He just caught one. They're still there.
Yeah, he got that one. This is true.
And so that's great. Hey, Cos, welcome, Brenda. But the next time out, it could have been you.
Fish and Freedom had a question. Let's see. Lyle, Chad's taking care of Chad. Let me see which one. Can you please post it again, Richard? Forgive me. It'll be easier for us not to miss it. Jeremy says, you should see the looks I get when I walk into a beauty shop in town for foam hair curlers for my phone. Fish and Fever, I hope I remember to say hello to you.
Oh, man. That's funny.
Okay, here we go. I think this is the question. Richard over at Fish and Freedom says, my dad fished for like 7 hours Saturday to catch 20 crappie spread out all over. Is there a magic water temp where they start schooling up, or is it daylight hours, etc.? The answer is yes, and it depends. As far as I can tell, this is what I judge my fall crappie bite on, and I could be wrong, but it works for me, Lyle. I wait for the weeds to die down. I wait for that lake to start turning up here by me. When that lake starts turning, that's when they start moving into the not when I say channels, I'm talking about channels between the lakes and such, channels to people's homes that got properties on the lake that aren't on the main lake. They start going up into there. And that's when I hammer them. It's like shooting fish in a barrel at those times.
So now, do you think that they're in the channels of the old river channel, bed channels?
I was finding them on brush piles, like SK does all the time. Brush piles, fish cribs, and one spot was the steepest drop off in the lake I was fishing. I came across some there. More white. That's where I caught more white bass than I did crappie, but I did get 2 out of there. And that drum happened on that. That was like the steepest part of that lake. The steepest drop off.
Them dockery specials, you're liable to find them anywhere.
Yeah, some people are able to catch them off a dock somewhere, but I brought my dock shooting rod with me today just in case. Because here's what I'm thinking: sun's been high, water's been hot. up until the last couple of days, it's been really extremely warm here all of last week. Where are they going to be? They're going to be in the weeds, right? They're going to be in the deep. They're going to be under docks.
In the shade.
In the shade. They're going to be hiding from the sun. So my plan of attack was Mr. Twister sells blades, small blades that are just like beetle spins, but you can put any jig you want on them. We have a lot of milfoil here, so I brought some of those with me just in case I needed to do that. And I'll tell you how I know when they're in the weeds. And thanks to LiveScope, I'm able to figure that out. I brought my dock shooting rod for under docks. Not that I'm any good at it. I'm actually terrible at it. I found out today, Lyle. And I brought extra split shot, the larger size split shots because it was windy to get them baits down deeper, faster. So, and the split shot was what I ended up using. That's where they were. And when I'm finding them in the milfoil, I can kind of see them at the weed edges by the steepest drop-offs is where I usually find them, or right on the edges. But with LiveScope, they got an option called, I think it's called tracers, where if a fish moves, it actually shows movement in blue on the screen. So if you're looking at a bunch of weeds on screen, it's hard to differentiate that in a fish unless you notice something moving. And those tracers or those trails that it leaves will point them out to you, and you can keep an eye on it. That's I guess my LiveScope tip of the day. So that works pretty good for me. At least I'm able to get on them that way. Not getting them to bite today was a hard part, but I got some to bite more today than the other day.
Stonefly says cats seem to think bluegills are the best tasting panfish. I would say, in my experience, I would say yes, but I don't have any mud cats around, so I would try more of them if I had them.
I don't know. It depends what you're fishing. Cut bluegill works good for us. It stays on the hook when you're dragging baits here, definitely.
Does.
Shad works even better. Not that they're a panfish, but shad works really good all around catfish bait as far as I'm concerned.
Your brother.
Sweet. What?
Danny's going to be sending out bucktails. So.
Oh. Wayne Hoska. Good evening, bud. With a $10 super chat. Thank you, Wayne. How you doing, bud?
Thank you very much, Wayne. We appreciate it so much. That'll about cover the shipping on these flies we're going to give away pretty soon. I can't get over this cost of how shipping has went up. And the sad part is it's all because of the price of fuel and everything it takes to operate a vehicle. I got that, but I'm trying not to say it, Mark, but you know.
I know. Let's not go there today.
The thing is, it's never going to go back down. It'll always stay up. Now that once you get it up, it's really hard to get them to come back down. Yeah. And the only thing that I see is these companies, especially the post office, which is my game. We don't have UPS in town. We don't have any of the other companies. We have the post office, and I can see that their letters that they carry are a lot less now than they have ever been before because of email and stuff like that. And I got that, but don't try to make it all up on shipping. Some little packages from me. All right, I'm done.
Can't you schedule a UPS pickup at your house or even a post office pickup?
I can, yeah.
Okay.
I just choose not to.
I would do. Hey, Josh, how you doing? I want to make sure we say hello to Josh.
Hey, Josh. The reason I don't mark is because if you've ever shipped anything and you've ever had it damaged, and I have from every company in the world that I've used, that I'm able to use, UPS will never pay you for whatever it is. If they damage something in shipping, they will not send you a check. They will not pay for it. They'll not replace it. None of the other companies will either, except the post office.
I've had one
over 3 weeks, and they'll send you a check right in the mail.
I've had one package. One of my hats get lost, and that was it the whole time. And unfortunately, it was to Miss Becca, but we got that worked out, I believe.
That's pretty good if you only lost one. Mine don't get lost usually. Once in a while, you'll get one lost. What happens is they fall off when they're moving that packages around and they'll run over a PCV tube full of plastic. In PCV, they'll just run over it and then just go ahead and send it to the guy, and it just burns me up. That's happened several times.
Stonefly says half pint of jam I sent out was $10.
Yeah, it's like $9.65 or something.
Hey, if you guys are shipping somebody, I might as well give this company a plug. Go to a website called Pirate Ship.
I use it.
You don't have to do bulk, and they'll give you deals on shipping there.
Not bad.
It's not much, but why give them money when you can keep it in your pocket, right, Lyle?
And they'll stop right here and pick it up at your house.
You can set that up.
I like that a lot. There's Dan Thompson. Welcome, Dan.
What's up, Dan? How you doing?
You made it in here tonight.
Hey, there's Bug. What's up, Bug Man? How you doing, bud?
So, Mark, what do you do special or different in the fall of the year to find your crappie versus the summertime or the dreaded word we got coming up, winter?
Well, all right. I don't chase bluegill in the fall. I'm trying to get enough crappie to last through the winter in the freezer. So
6 or 8.
I'm sorry?
6 or 8.
6 or 8 bags, baby.
Both sides.
Yeah, both sides. We're getting both sides of them. That means I only have I learned the hard way. If I fillet both sides, I only have to catch half as many, Lyle.
Well, that's true. Or you don't have to keep it.
Anyway, I already kind of touched base a little bit. I'm kind of waiting for I'm waiting for the weeds to die off in the channels. Some of these are real choked out. I actually drove by today and took a look at a couple of my spots just to get an idea, try to get time. But I'm looking October, end of September, early October is when they're going to be on fire. We'll go in there. I'll hit a bunch of spots. And I got like 4 spots that I like to frequent, but that doesn't mean that I'm not looking for more. One of them happens to be a bank spot, but that you actually got to pay $5 to park, which I'm okay. I mean, it's a tavern, and they're not open during the morning, but the guy wants $5 to park in his lot, and there's nowhere else to park over there. So,
well,
$5 is $5. I can't blame somebody for being a capitalist. You know what I mean?
Well, times are tough. I'm saying barkeeps are having the same times that everybody else is.
They are. Ashley Brady just came in. What's going on, Ashley? How you doing, dear? So I'll frequent those spots. It'll be interesting in this new boat because there's a couple of spots that I get into are pretty tight. So I'll probably take up the whole channel, especially with that shallow water anchor. I'll be able to get right on them. I'm going to get right up on those docks and shallow water anchor, and boom, I'm just going to get me. I got a 12-foot Uncle Buck's rod, and I got a 10-foot B&M also. I'm going to put them to use on these docks because if I can get into those boat lifts, I'm in business because they're usually stacked with them. I'm also fishing. For some reason, perch like to they like to spend time in old bluegill beds. So I've been marking on my sonar every time I come across a bluegill bed. The pock marks, that look like a golf ball.
Mm-hmm.
I've been marking them on my sonar and marking them, bluegill beds or, fish beds. And I'm going to try and see how productive they are for me in the fall. I'm going to go back and, throw a jig head with the worm on there or a spoon with a couple of waxies or a piece of worm on there and see if I can't get on a good perch bite this fall too. That's another thing I'm doing. But as far as like panfish go and stuff, I don't do it much, but if I was to do it, I would definitely use your drop shop technique, definitely, because I think they're hiding a lot deeper, just like the crappie are most of the summer. They're in the cooler, deeper, darker water. I think they're hiding with quick escape paths just because of the winter or because of the fall turnover of the lake. And this is just a guess. We'd have to have Koa back on the show to see, but that would make sense to me. Deep drop offs, I would look for. Whether or not that'd be productive, I don't know. I'm just telling you the tactics that I would go after them with. So
I think that you're onto something there. Now with with my area, and you'd have to get somebody that's a little more knowledgeable than I am about crappie fishing. But the deeper standing timber seems to be the hot ticket right now.
Yeah, I don't have any of that here unless I go all the way down to Shabana, which I'm considering going to next week. We'll see.
I have Palm de Terre Lake very close to me. It has a lot of flooded standing timber, anywhere from 20 to 40 feet. So all you got to do is find the stuff that has active fish on it. It's my understanding, and you're in. So uh, I'm anxious to give that a shot, but right now my main thing is bluegills on a fly rod because they're still feeding on the top. But that's going to change, and that's when we go back to jig fishing, and we'll be looking for structure of all types in to start with in the back of coves with structure. Weed line, whether it be a weed line or down trees or whatever it is, they love down treetops. They'll be in them treetops, and if they are underneath them, is where the catfish are at. So you get to fish both worlds. It works out really well. But as soon as the water temperature really gets cooler, then they'll go a little bit deeper, and they'll be down in structure out away from the banks and stuff. And
Maybe there's something that just crossed my mind. Maybe they're going to switch spots with those crappie. Maybe they'll be in those fish cribs that I found, and the crappie they're going to be shallow in the things. And I want to make a correction too. I say I wait for those weeds to die off. Not only do they have to die off, they kind of got to be kind of dead for a little bit because you want them you don't want them to let too much CO2 because the fish can't breathe, especially in those shallow channels. So it's a little while after it. And yes, stonefly, it is yellow perch.
Do you ever use red worms for perch?
I use any kind of worm and shrimp. Stonefly is what I use. I'll use minnow heads in the winter if I'm still ice fishing. I haven't been in a season, so.
Shrimp, huh? Popcorn shrimp, deep fried.
You get the cheap Walmart pre-cooked shrimp, and I told you this: a pre-cooked bag of shrimp and a jar of cocktail sauce. So when I ain't using it for bait, I'm actually dipping it in the cocktail sauce and eating it while I'm fishing. And Eric, and I'm sure that Duck heard stories about you, which is not why he won't let you touch him. But that's my fall fishing in a nutshell. I'm also, chasing flathead for that last push.
Yeah.
And it becomes a struggle come, October. You've seen me in the last couple of years. It's a war of attrition to get one. At least for me, it has been, in the first couple of weeks until I just kind of give up the ghost. So,
well, them flatheads in cold water, and you get cold water where you're at. They just go dormant, and you can drag that bait right over top of them. I've got videos that I watched for many years, and they don't even move unless you hit them hard enough to make them move. And you keep bait right around their mouths, and they'll never open their mouth. They're not interested. They're just not interested.
I'm not interested in catching them during the winter, anyways. Leave them be. Plain and simple.
I can't. Even if you did get one to go, what's the chance of having any kind of energy to put up a decent fight?
Mm.
I
don't know. I've never caught one in the winter, so I couldn't tell you.
I haven't either. Once the water temperature gets down below 45 or 50 to 45 to 50, I don't catch flatheads. Just don't. So, in fact, I don't even look for them.
It's time to go looking for blues. It's time to go looking for, hey, there's Lance. It's time to go after, salmon in the early and late fall. Time to go after perch downtown Chicago here for me. Those are the open water ones. I'm going to do a little bit of traveling. Hopefully this as long as there isn't any salt on the road, Lyle, I got to make sure there's no salt on the road before I pull that sweet boat of mine out of the garage.
I was thinking something else, but I'll let that pass too.
Okay.
Big Rich says his water temperature never gets that cold. Must be nice.
Must be nice.
But yeah, I'm with Lance. Cold water salmon sounds pretty tasty to me. I just I'd be interested in some of that action.
I got plans, Lyle. There's a gentleman here at a bait shop in Winthrop Harbor that does seminars in January. I'm already signed up for that. I talked to the guys down there at the Winthrop Harbor Bait Shop. They're going to go down there and set me up and give me a kind of a lowdown, and maybe at least I'll get on that Root River and pick up some. I know I don't need help buying tackle, Lyle.
I would be glad to.
I got to get some salmon trolling rods and stuff like that, but I think I'm going to chase after them. I told Lance I'd meet up with him if he wants to head down to Racine or maybe me go up to Sheboygan and see what we can do. Or fish in the harbors like Lance was saying for if someone's got skein, which is, the salmon eggs. So you need that. That's a territorial thing. They'll strike that though. But yeah, I could go for a couple of salmon dinners.
Yeah, I like salmon.
Josh, I'm coming down to visit you to go fish for some crappie.
He's got access to some over there.
He does. I want to hit him up for Rend Lake.
Yeah, then it'd be a great place.
In December.
And
look at this. I'll save a seat for you in Louisiana.
There you go.
Creel, I hope that the storms from that hurricane aren't affecting you too bad.
Yeah, I hope not too. I have a couple of uncles and a cousin that lives in Florida where that stuff went through, and glad to know that they made it through that all right also.
And Lance brings up a good point. Burbot. Second or third week in December, well, up in Milwaukee.
You caught some pretty good ones the last few years.
Yeah, not too bad. Eight. I got a 9-pounder. I caught like 5 in like 2 trips, which was kind of cool. First trip I caught 1. Second trip I caught 4. I think that's what it was. I'd have to look at my Facebook pictures. But yeah, they're fun to catch. It's just like catching catfish. Just a little bit lighter tackle.
They taste. They're not really panfish, but they're very tasty. From what I remember you telling me about them.
Freshwater cod. They taste like a fillet of fish, even though fillet of fish is no longer cod. I think it's pollock now, right?
I don't know. I like them just as well.
I had 2 for lunch, by the way.
Two's just about the size of the original ones used to be. They downsized everything so much. I have to eat 2.5 or 3 of them at a time to consider it a meal, but damn, they're good. They really are. I like the ones Arby's has too. They don't call them fillet fish; they call them fish sandwich or something.
Whatever. They're still good.
Yeah, I'll take them.
You know what's even better than any of those fish sandwiches? When you get some crappie or bluegill and you make your own darn fish sandwich.
That's fact. That's a fact. Bluegill and crappie are kind of a toss-up with me if I'm eating fish. I like them. Of course, I like catfish too, but I don't only like them small. But bluegill and crappie are the best that I know of, and walleye is a close third. But walleye just can't make it as a comparison to bluegill and crappie. In my mind, anyhow.
I like if you got bluegill, if you have crappie, if you got catfish, if you got walleye, perch, I'm not saying no.
Yeah, that's right. There's Troy.
What's up, Troy?
Super Dave. It's made it into chat. Good to see you.
What's up, Super Dave? How you doing, bud?
There's Jerry Parker. He says, Jerry. Mark, you come down in December, take a day, and we can go for some Mississippi River blues.
I like it.
What?
I might not have to ice fish this year. Violet's going to invite me out to ice fish, I'm pretty sure. I talked to her a little bit, and I'll go with her, definitely. Her and her gang, they have a good time.
Stonefly says, I definitely wouldn't turn down a plate of fried yellow perch. I've yet to have any. I'm looking forward to it when it happens because Mark tells me they're as good as crappie. I've had other people say they're not quite that good, and other people say, oh, yeah, they're better than crappie ever was. That's going to have to be something.
Pike is good too. Perch is it's a extremely mild fish, just like James was saying that one night. He was not wrong. It's very mild. you know, it's like I said before, it's a blank canvas to get whatever flavors you want out of it. You know,
What
whatever.
about the pike and getting the bones out of them? I
There's
understand they're really bony.
there's a couple of different methods. If you go on YouTube and look, there's the 5 fillet method, which I do. I'm not real good at it, but I use it. It works pretty good. Where you cut the back strap off, that's 1 fillet. You cut another fillet off of each side below the Y bone, and then behind the flute, you get 2 more fillets at the table. There's your 5 fillets.
There you
And
go.
you can, if you do it, take your time. First couple times, it's pretty good. But yeah, a pike's good tasting fish. It's not as bland as like a perch or a crappie. You know, it's a little probably more potent than like a bluegill as far as a fish taste to it, but it's a good taste and they're delicious. And it's been a long time since I've had pickled pike, but if I remember correctly, it's delicious.
The reason is you talk about pickled parks all the time.
No, I talk about pickled park because J Dog lives there.
Oh, I'm sorry. My mistake. Welcome, David Smith. Glad to have you in tonight. Lansted Sturgeon Spearing next February going to be interesting. It'll be his first time.
You know, I have mixed feelings about pike spearfishing and sturgeon spearfishing, but again, you know, it's legal, it's allowed, as long as the state's biologists have a good control and understanding on it. Enjoy it. I'm interested. They got higher education than me. So I mean, what are we going to do? The only way you can do is by proving them wrong, and I'm not ready to do that. To be honest.
Well, the thing is, it's you can't outdollar them into proving anything. They got too much money to back them. That's the problem. But you know, it's kind of like bow fishing for things.
Yeah,
there's some species should never be allowed to be bow fished for. Flatheads is one of them.
Yeah, any catfish. I think rough fish is okay. I kind of have mixed feelings about buffalo because buffalo takes so long to mature. I mean, a really big buffalo can be 80 years old easy.
And they're really good eating.
They are, right?
But they really are.
It takes a long time for them to get that big. So
yeah, they're slow growers.
And it's
hey, looky there. Lee Evans is in our chat.
Hey, Old Farts Club members. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, that's me. I feel it today. I'm tired. But anyways. Yeah, I think hook and line would be a better way to go. I've seen guys on the Meat Eater show fly fishing for buffalo head, which looked like a lot of fun, Lyle.
They do, and there's a lot of guys that fly fish for carp, and I've never done that.
I've seen that.
I think that's interesting.
They use little sponge balls I've seen, and they soak them with like strawberry oil or pineapple or tutti frutti oil they get at the carp shops. And they'll put them up when they're spawned, and then they're up there getting air. They just figure out where they're at. And I've seen this one guy I know here that fishes at one of my spots do it quite a bit, and he'll hook into it, and it looks like a good time.
I think it'd be a ton of fun. One of the things that I noticed as a kid fishing on Salt River, which is where Mark Twain Lake is made up from and then dumps into the Mississippi River, there's lots of cottonwood trees along that riverbank. And the seeds fall off, and they're a white fluffy thing with a seed underneath. They make cottonseed cakes out of them, which is great bait if you're catching carp and stuff. But anyhow, you can hear them in log jams and stuff up there sucking that stuff off of the surface. The carp would just go up there and suck it off the surface. So I'm thinking, when they're up there like that, that would be a time to get them. And with a fly rod, oh my God. A carp, a 6-8 pound carp fights really hard, especially if you're in a river that has some current. But you get one that's 20 or 25 pounds. Oh my God!
I've hooked into my PB is like 22 pounds for a carp, and I've hooked into something that was quite a bit bigger than that, and it broke me off. I had 30-pound braid on at the time. It was spider wire, which I'm not a big fan of, and that broke me off. But that was a cool fight. That was some runs. Only thing that I think I've ever caught, now mind you, I said caught, was a salmon that fought harder than a carp. So
yeah, they fight hard. There's a guy here in Ohio who owned a fly shop in Columbus, Mad River Outfitters. Brian Flushing, know it very well. He does fly fishing for carp. Didn't know that he did carp. But yeah, it looks like mulberries. He has some of the greatest fly tying videos out there. And if you want to learn to cast a fly rod, if you don't know how, he has a series of videos that goes from 1 to like 25 on different ways to practice and techniques to casting fly rod. Brian is an outstanding teacher. He knows a lot of the really big people in fly fishing, whether it be salt water or freshwater. And he does videos with them guys and gets some of the best instructions that you ever want to meet. So if you're interested in fly fishing or learning to fly fish, Mad River Fly Shops or Blind Fishing, get him on YouTube. Look up his videos. You'll be happy you did. I've been following him for years and years, and very, very knowledgeable guy.
I think I've come across some of his stuff too. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Yeah, Matt, thanks for posting that. Matt had made a comment about stuff down there catching. Got past me here.
About their snagging, I think he said something about snagging buffalo.
He said beetle flies work great for carp fishing. Sounds like Matt might have done some of that. Should see the size of buffalo that people snag in Arkansas. That's probably true. I just that's just not my favorite way to go about catching fish. Now, for Asian carp, things like that, any means to get rid of them because you're never going to get rid of them.
Danny Stone says, "Fields to water. Chad, send me your address, you moron." Thank you for letting me read that, Danny.
Wowzer. That's too funny. I forgot where I was at now.
I know I did kind of too after I saw that come up in chat.
Yeah, I'm sure he was Stonefly. He's just a really cool guy, and I have messages out to try to get him on the show, but they keep sending me to the shop and want me to have somebody that works in the shop on here, and I do not want somebody that works in the shop. I want Brian Flushing because I don't know none of them guys. They don't. If they had the knowledge he's got, their name would be on them videos and not his. So,
well, Asian carp's a different story. Snagging Asian carp would probably be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, or shoot them with a bow or shotgun or whatever means to get rid of the damn thing you can. But they're not flatheads and blues and game fish. And I know them catfish are not game fish in every state. That's the reason you guys can't get laws passed to stop this other stuff from happening because your state won't make them game fish. They are game fish in the state of Missouri.
And Lance says they're catching Asian carp up by him in Wisconsin. You know, I've heard one of the guys, the young man I fished with last week, he was telling me that he's seen the dead Asian carp in the Stretcher River just south of where I fish. I don't know if I don't see it with my own eyes. And I should have asked him if there was a chunk taken out of there because I know a lot of guys will bring a dead one up and use it for cut bait. You know, I've heard that happen, which they're not supposed to do.
Yeah,
I'm kind of iffy, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on. If you actually do see them up there, Lance, make sure you let the DNR know. Let the biologist know when you find them.
If you find one, there's more than one. If they have the SK, they can't get to you unless somebody brings them over and dumps them out because there's no way you can get to Lake Houston from the Mississippi River. That's the only way you'll get them is through a Mississippi River tributary because that's where they was turned loose. If they get in anything else, it's because someone was a complete maroon and hauled them over there live. And I can't imagine them as fast as they die when they jump in your boat. I can't imagine hauling them very far.
Lyle, I can't imagine why people would do something like that. I can't imagine why they vote the way they do. Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. I just like to get Lyle to smile.
I know. But that's true. You know, there has been reports of them being in Lake Ozark. Well, if you've ever seen the Bagnell Dam, you know there's no way one of them's going to get through that dam to get in Lake Ozark. So if one got in there, somebody had to transport it in a live well around behind the dam to a boat dock or ramp and put it in. That's the only way it could have got there. But it only takes a couple of years for one or two of them to take over, and the lake will be taken over by, because they're so prolific breeders.
And also, that same young man was telling me, he does a lot of not creek walking, but river walking in the section south of me. It's relatively shallow for smallmouth bass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that gar swim by him all the time when he's in the water. I'm like,
and you never see gar, do you?
I've never seen them, but the section I fish is a little deeper. I'm not in that shallow of water, and Lyle, I caught 5 turtles last week for Jiminy Christmas.
Turtle soup. Michael Murillo says, yeah. Oh, that's no good for that. Michael Murillo says it's sad. All an idiot needs is an opportunity. That may be one of the greatest statements of all times. That is so true. So true. Hey, Mark, we're running just about on time tonight. I have a collection of flies to give away to our members.
You do.
And I'll show them one more time while you're pulling that stuff up. Some lucky person is going to win the set of flies. And these are all ones that I have personally used, not these particular ones, but ones like this and caught fish on. So,
all right, I'm working on this here.
Bluegills love them.
All right. I have all the members' names in here, and I did enter in Big Wrench in there as the final one. So let me hit the mix up here a couple of times so there are not any in particular order. And you let me know, and we'll let the members we'll let it rip, and we'll let the member we'll pick a winner. How about that?
Let's go.
Talk much, Mark? Jesus. It's my first time. There we go. Let her go. Let her spin, see what happens. And the winner is Crappie Day. Oh, Crappie Day Fish On. Congratulations, Crappie Day.
Absolutely. I know I probably should have it, but send me, message me your shipping address, and I'll get them babies hopping out to you. I just sent out a case like this full of jigs to Katie Collins the other day. She had won them on the KP giveaway that Freddie done.
Hold on a second. Josh, quit it.
They was sent out, so I'll get these out to you, and I hope you enjoy them and have as much fun with using them as I do making them, because I tie a lot of them. And
I caught 2 crappie on your jigs today too, by the way, Lyle. Just so
sweet.
I did.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. I think, Mark, let's see, this is August, and August is over, so I think we'll do another members giveaway for September. And we'll do that the last week of September. We'll give away a box of jigs for that. How's that grab you?
I think that's a great thing. I think you need to come up with now. If you're still doing these come Christmas time, you need to make a Christmas edition.
Well, I think that I probably will do something like that for Christmas. Yeah.
All right.
Not sure yet what.
That's the one I want to win. My birthday's in December, so I want to win those.
Yeah, that works.
Since I am a member.
Heck yeah. But we want to thank everybody for watching the show tonight. It was awesome. We had a great number in chat. I don't remember what the high number was, but it was around 50, something like that.
It don't matter. We got the best people in our chat.
We do. We have the very best people that come in here, and they're very loyal, and they don't care if you give away stuff or not. It just it's just fun to do, and it's a way of thanking our members for what they do. But there's some shows coming on this weekend. I can't keep everybody straight. There's too many of them. I do know that Chad and Freddie and Brian come on tomorrow night at 7.
Yep. Before we forget, we got to wish everybody a happy Labor Day.
Absolutely, and be safe on the water. Don't forget to wear your sunscreen too. It's going to be sunshine, bright. Don't take a chance on something happening to your skin. The older you get, the more you'll appreciate what I'm telling you now. And Monday night, Catfish Weekly and the Catfish and Crappie podcast.
Monday, no, Lyle, I'm off another Monday. I'm taking a couple weeks off, so we won't
Okay.
be taking Labor Day off.
Well, good for you.
See you the
Yeah.
weekend.
Cool.
See you the week after that, folks. Love you all. I'll be back. Don't
And
you?
SK Crappie Catching Adventures on Wednesday nights at 9 Central.
9 Central Time. Go ahead and tune them
Anybody else that you can remember? Because I can't remember them all. If I hadn't seen him down at the bottom of the page, I wouldn't have remembered SK.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm getting so old. Oh, let me make another announcement since I wasn't able to do this. There's a website out there that voted the Catfish and Crappie podcast the third best crappie fishing podcast on Spotify and on Apple. So I got notification of that the other day. So I was pretty happy about that. That kind of inspired me to keep going. So it's good to get recognition, not only from you great people in there, but there's people that are listening that I don't know about, which is always kind of weird, but I love it anyways.
That's all good, though. That's all good. So that's awesome. Everybody have a safe holiday weekend. We'll see you next Wednesday night on Panfish Nation.